Good morning, everyone. I'm starting a project here, building birdhouses. I want to do it in a format of mass production. So what you see here are the pieces. I already took the liberty to cut them, including the hole where the bird can go in. I made my own little blueprint of the size of each particular component, and then I made patterns, and I wrote on the patterns. That's for the roof. It's 7.5 by 5.5, and you set the angle on a table saw, not the angle, but you set the distance at 5 3/8, and then that allows you to cut your angles. So there's a pattern for each piece. Okay, so I'm going to use the patterns to basically draw around, and I can make more at that point. I used this saw to cut my angles. You can move it to a 45, which is a good angle. And then the table saw was used to cut the angles. You can actually see the blade is still angled over for those cuts. And the 5 3/8 is right here. So I'm going to show you a fixture that I made. I made a fixture. Let me grab this. This being this. The fixture I made looks like that. So basically, what I do is I'll just insert the piece into the drill, and then right here line it up with there, and then it's going to drill the hole in the same place on every one. So that's going to work out pretty good. All right, so let me start some assembly. Okay, these are going to be the sides. That's going to be the base. And you can see where these are cut on the 45. Those will go together like this and make the roof. So we got two of those, two sides, a front and a back. And at this point, we're ready to start gluing stuff together. Okay, so that's everything but the roof. And I'm gonna get a little closer to the camera so that you can see how precision everything is. Okay, let's get the roof glued on there. It's a little bit tough here due to the 45s. I may need to make a fixture that I can set this down in. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, I found a dowel rod. I've already cut off a section of it. I tapered that in just a little bit to make sure it went in the hole smooth. I measured it and it was 25/64. So this bit is 25/64. Now granted, I'm going to drill this by hand, which is going to leave an opportunity for crookedness. But I'm going to do my best to drill it as straight as I possibly can. And let's see how that works. Okay, that didn't turn out too bad. So now we've got the front of the birdhouse, a little bit of an overhang here, a little bit of an overhang here, a hole for the bird to get in, a perch, and I didn't do this on purpose, but it looks like there's just a little bit of a gap here. and it's going to allow some air movement into the birdhouse. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but in the summertime it's probably good. Wintertime it could be an issue. Then I went and got some paint. This is paint from Home Depot's Oops section. So in other words, somebody had it mixed, they didn't like the color, so they took it back or something along those lines. The paintbrush, that's Habitat stuff. I probably got not much in the paintbrush. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for those. But the wood that I'm using is also Habitat supplied. There's a bunch of it right there. And I brought some more home the other day. Didn't have room for them on the shelf, but it's all these 1-bys right here. So the wood was scrap. The paint was severely reduced in price. The paintbrush was next to nothing. The staples that I used came from Home Depot. I paid full price. Other than that, doing it on a string line budget. Okay, I know I had mentioned that they were finished, but I got to thinking they might look better with a coat of paint on them. So I've got one coat on there. I'm gonna let that dry overnight, and I'll give it another coat tomorrow. But there's your birdhouse with paint on it. I think it really improved the looks of it. I took some wood putty and went over the little brad nail holes. Did some sanding on it so it wouldn't have any sharp edges. I think I'm going to have painted versions and non-painted versions. And other than that, I believe once I get all the pieces cut, the assembly doesn't take long. I can do this pretty economical, but I'm going to set them out front and see if people will buy them. With that being said, I'm going to end the video. I appreciate you watching my videos, and have a great day.